Good afternoon everyone, and welcome to my Thursday afternoon Mindset Weekly show. Hope you are all keeping really well. Today's live is all about the beliefs that are keeping you stuck, and I'm going to go through my top 3 limiting beliefs. So I'll just wait a moment for everyone to join in live, and if you are here live, drop in a hey, say hey in the comments, so I know that you're here. And and if you feel catching up on replay later, just put a hashtag replay as well, and and catch up when you can. Hey Anton, how you doing? You missed it last week. I missed you last week, so you're back again today, so that's fabulous. And how cold is it today? Oh my goodness. We've got a dreadful day today. So it's a little bit chilly. Okay, so on to our beliefs, our limiting beliefs, those that are keeping us stuck and not letting us move forward. Because actually one of our sort of the obstacle that stands in our way between our desires and our results, it rarely comes from outside of us. It comes from the inside. And so our mind can be either our friend, our ally, or it can be our biggest roadblock. Hey Katie, nice to see you. So basically, what are your beliefs? What are your beliefs? They are really just what you think about a certain thing. Your current thinking. And they're formed in so many different unconscious ways, and that you've probably been influenced by your family, your parents, your teachers. Majority of them have come from you when you're growing up, from your childhood, and then there are obviously ones that you've created yourself too. Hi Holly, nice to see you. So basically, your beliefs are what you accept as your reality. And things that you trust, that you think are true, that you believe are true. And they are what we either think we can do or what we think we can't do. And they can either empower us or they can disempower us. So they can be either positive or negative for us. So just as a bit of a thing out there, they actually say that it's about 95% of our thoughts and our behaviours are actually based on the beliefs that have been sort of programmed into our mind by other people. So that's like 95% passed on from generation to generation. A bit like a family recipe, aren't they? That are just passed on. So what you've got to be doing, you've got to be willing to let go of what was, all the past stuff, all the things that you think are true with regards to your beliefs, in order to experience what is and claim what's to come. So what's going to take you forward? Because your limiting beliefs actually hold you back. They hold you back from growing, from succeeding. They hold you back from everything that you want to do. And your belief really is just it's like that certainty. That feeling of certainty that you know what something means. And the reason it can be kind of feel so certain is it's because of the story that we've continually told ourselves about it. So throughout our lives, we keep on reprogramming the same messages. And what we then do, we look for evidence of it. We look to prove that that is true for us. Because we'd hate to be disagreeing with ourselves, wouldn't we? So we look for the proof that's going to back those beliefs actually up. And the more and more that we kind of go looking for it, the more proof that we're going to feel, and the more certain we're going to feel. The more proof we're going to find, and the more we're actually certain that we're going to feel then about it. So that means that we can then, we either create more potential in ourselves with these beliefs, or more limitations, depending on what that belief actually is. And it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, because of this cycle, you know, it depends on what the results you get, and then those results, they reinforce your belief. So, you know, that's saying you're, you know, whether you believe you can or you believe you can't, you're right. Because you will look for the evidence to support that, to back yourselves up. And that's when you start talking yourself out of things. You know, you start actually thinking, you know, those things go running through your mind, and you start talking yourself out of doing things. And that's when you end up settling, not even giving yourself a chance there. You know, so for example, you know, you might be kind of end up settling for a job that, you know, that you don't really want instead of the one you do really want, because your mind couldn't see it was something that was in your reach. You know, you might have had to taken on a job that was a lower salary, for instance, and it's because you don't believe that you can actually get to that next level and reach that, as it's something inside of you. And you know, it's believing that you can't then get what you actually want in life. Now, there are other people that believe that they can do things, they can succeed, but only to a certain level, and then they cap themselves. So they believe that their success is for others, you know, that fit a certain way, rather than actually, if you studied successful people, you'll see that it's not a certain person that's successful. You know, success is from all walks of life. So it's just that limitation that we've placed on ourselves about that ability. Now, many people never ever question why they don't do what they need to do to succeed. Hi Kate, hi Rachel. You know, most people actually don't even go this deep into it. You know, just have a think about now, what are the beliefs that you've got about yourself? You know, pop those in the comments there. Just what sort of kind of comes up. You know, do you ever question why you don't do something? Do you actually think that it could be down to something you're believing about yourself? So pop that. I can't actually see comments coming up. I don't know whether Facebook has changed actually lately, but this is the second week that I've not seen any comments coming up, and I've just got a little box at the bottom. So I'm not sure if there is any comments in, and if there are, I'll go back through them later on. So no, most people don't actually question why they're not, you know, why they don't do what they need to do to succeed, what it is that's actually holding them back. And it's because of it will be because of what's going on in your mind. And because of that, you limit your ability to reach your full potential. Now, again, a lot of the time, your beliefs are not always that obvious. You know, they're not kind of, you know, when you don't do something you want to do, they're not kind of flashing your belief at you. It's not that it's doing that. You're not always obvious about it. It's not always obvious what your beliefs are. However, the way to find out what they are is to look at what you're actually creating. What is your reality? Because that's the clue to what you really believe. You know, it's what is actually happening in your reality. Now, these unhealthy beliefs, you know, they are the ones that sort of say that you're a failure, or, you know, you're not likable, or you're incapable, or whatever, and they really stop you preventing doing what you can do for your, you know, do the best that you can do. And I just want you to know here that you are stronger than you think. You really are. You know, your brain is there. It kind of lies to you, doesn't it, sometimes? You know, your brain, it tells you these stories, and they are just stories, and it kind of lies to you. But you are stronger than you think you are. So you can challenge these beliefs, and you can actually then conquer this inner critic that you've got of yourself. So here's my top 3 limiting beliefs, and as I put say this, I just want you to sort of comment on there of, you know, whether any of these are something that you come into, you know, you think yourself. So the first one I have got is, I don't have the time. I don't have the time, and for me, I think it's one of the kind of the the greatest self-deception ones that kind of exist when we keep on telling ourselves, well, I do that, but I just don't have the time. Hey Simone, great to see you. So this one is one I hear all the time. You know, why have you not actually gone and done whatever it is that you want to do? You're telling me that you want to do that, and then you say, I just don't have the time. So it's one of those, you know, one I hear so many times. Now the point is, you will never have the time if you don't make the time. You know, and when you are repeatedly saying the same things, you start to believe that. And that means then you will, again, it's kind of like that snowball effect. And then you will just never find the time to do what you want to do. And this is the one belief that really keeps you stuck, because you know you want to do something, but then this little voice in your head is holding you back from doing it. And this is the one that keeps you really stuck. And it can keep you stuck for a long time if you do not deal with the I don't have the time one. Now, the point is with this one, if you really want to crack that one wide open, and I say if you really want it, because, you know, again, a lot of people go, yeah, I really want to do something. And then they use the I haven't got the time excuse. Now, the reality is that we have all got the same amount of time, haven't we? We've all got the same amount of time, but it's just that some of us achieve so much more than others. So if you are serious that you actually know you want to bin the I don't have the time belief, then, you know, you've actually got to start monitoring, well, what are you doing with your time right now? So, you know, get yourself a spreadsheet or a piece of paper or whatever it is, and actually be truthful, about what you're spending your time actually on. And mark it out in your diary. You know, get something. I've got a great diary with all of the, you know, it starts 6 o'clock, 7, you know, and it goes in half an hour. So mark out what are you actually doing between those hours. And then look at it, and as you look at that, then you are going to start kind of noticing what patterns of behaviour come up, you know, that are causing you to get in your own way, that are causing you to not have enough time. You know, are you avoiding certain tasks? Are you kind of repeating certain tasks that are easy but are not moving the needle forward for you? So just question it. Just question that one about the timing and make a note of it. And then just start making a few tweaks, and you will be so surprised at actually kind of how much time, you know, that you really do have, and that you have actually got enough time to do what you want to do. So that's my belief number one. Belief number two that I've got, and this one is a really big one. It's a really big one. It's the I am or I am not belief. So when you use the words I am, that's you labelling yourself. You know, it's the statement about your own identity, about who you are, who you believe you are. And it's actually called an identity belief. And it's actually one of the most self-limiting beliefs that you could actually have. And actually some of these are what I would class as your deep core beliefs that actually you will need to, you know, I obviously do NLP and timeline therapy in my coaching. And it's these deep beliefs that timeline therapy works so well on, because they are your core beliefs. They are ones that you've probably had for such a long time, and they're the ones that are perhaps not going to go so easily unless you actually kind of do something about it. So these are the ones where you kind of say, you know, I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. I'm not good. I'm not as good as them. I'm too old. I'm too young. You know, there are the other ones that you might say, oh, well, I'm not organised. I'm not creative, so I can't do that. You know, and they stop you doing, again, what you want to do. Now, I just want you to say on this that, you know, no matter what you think, you are always good enough. You are always good enough, you know, because that's the reason why we're here, isn't it? You know, we're all good enough for every situation, person, whatever it is. We are all good enough for that. Now, the point is, at some point in your life, you know, and this is where perhaps your safety or your certainty was kind of threatened. We chose to believe that that wasn't true for us, you know, and then because of that experience and whatever happened, we then decided to believe that the opposite of it. So we've decided to believe we're not good enough, and then we start running those patterns of behaviour to actually protect us, you know, keep you in your comfort zone, because that's nice and safe. And you know, it's the way your brain's programmed. Your brain is programmed to keep you safe. And so, you know, because of the belief that you've got, hey Sutisa, how are you? Lovely to see you here. So, you know, that one is, you know, we then start running the patterns of behaviour to kind of, you know, back that belief up about ourselves. And, you know, whenever we then want to do something that's going to stretch our capabilities, we have that little voice inside of our head, don't we? Kind of warning us of danger, you know, that we can't do something, that we shouldn't do it, you know, even worse. And that's when we get in our own way and we then miss out on those opportunities for that. So I want you to just start acknowledging that little voice inside your head, you know, and then kind of just thank it and let the thought go. Let it know you're okay, you know, and that you're going to give it a go anyway and do whatever, you know, you want to do. And then the more that you kind of give it a go, the more that you will start building your belief in yourself. And that's where, you know, you'll start seeing how good you are and how good enough you are. Okay, oh great. Well, I can see some hearts coming. I just can't see any comments. So, yeah, I don't know quite what's going on with my comments today. I can't see any of those. I can see you all coming in. Okay, number three of my top limiting beliefs. I can never do this. I can never do this. And this one is about doubting your own capability. And it's got a big generalisation attached to it, isn't it? So words like, you know, when you use always or everything or never, you know, when we use those types of, you know, those generalisations, that's when we delete any possibility of the opposite being true. Now, if you tell yourself that you can never do something, you will avoid it at all costs in the future because it doesn't feel good for you. You know, and, you know, it doesn't feel good that you're being reminded about your inability, say, to do something. So, you know, just remember again that the more you say something to yourself, the more you repeat the statement to yourself, the more you're going to believe it's true. So if you say, oh, well, I can never do that, oh, you know, oh, this always happens to me and whatever, you know, then it's going to limit, you know, this, why it's essential to, you know, why you've got to banish it. Oh, Anton, all three. Oh, I've got a comment come up. Brilliant. So yeah, all three are coming up for you at the moment. You know, just let me know if these are kind of resonating for you. And try these little tips then to actually overcome them. So, you know, with that one where you kind of, you know, I can never do something, even if, I mean, for me, even if you do something and it doesn't quite go to plan, well, you've given it a go, haven't you? You've given it a go. So even if you try something and you've just got to take it as a learning experience. Because if you believe that you've failed at something, it's so disempowering, and it will stop you doing something again. It will stop you actually moving forward. So one of my favourite sayings is, I win or I learn, but I never lose. And it's such a great saying. Everything's a learning experience. So if you can actually just change it to, well, you know, I haven't succeeded in doing that yet, and add the yet on the end, it really suddenly empowers you to do it. And it kind of makes you understand and gives you those that opportunity for you to kind of expand that capability. Suddenly notice that you've got possibilities open up to you. Because the bottom line is, with all of those beliefs that I've gone through, and there are obviously far more, they are just my top 3 limiting beliefs. That if you can actually start identifying and acknowledging your own self-limiting beliefs, then you can kind of start taking the power back. That blame can keep you stuck for years. If you keep using excuses of why you're not getting something, it can really erode your self-worth, your self-esteem, and it can actually cause you to start going backwards and not forwards. So the idea that something has been a certain way in the past should not let it tell you that that's the way it's always going to be. Because if you actually start accepting something, that's the way it is, and then you don't do anything to change it, then you've kind of given yourself a bit of a life sentence on that. So, just because something's been like a certain way in the past doesn't predict your future. It is what it is, and leave it, and then start changing it. And then, the success, it comes from the outside, the inside out, if you like. When you choose to work on that belief system, you need to weed out those beliefs. So I've given you my top 3 that I come across a lot, but see if any more come up for you. Weed them out. Weed those beliefs out that are limiting you in some way. And this is your true empowerment. This is the way that you move forward by doing this. You open up your complete true potential when you start noticing these and then start changing them. Because things will only change when you change them. So don't let yourself become trapped and confined by what's going on in your own mind. So it's really important to train your mind for unlimited potential. And then it can back you up and support you in what you're doing. And you come from a positive place. So there's my top tips and my top 3 limiting beliefs with some tips to actually address them. And if you'd like to delve more into your belief system, as well as create other mindset breakthroughs for you, then remember that I'm running a free 4-day training next week. It's Create Your Superstellar Mindset. You may have seen it on my page with a link, because you do need to register for it. It starts on Monday. I'll be going live at 2 o'clock UK time every day, Monday to Thursday, with kind of an hour-long training session. And it's going to clear your blocks and supercharge your success. And remember, it's free, so what have you got to lose? Come along, enjoy yourself, and we'll get some real great transformations taking place. I'll put the link to the actual training in the comments. Okay, that's it for today. Like I said, I can't actually see anything coming up. So I don't know if there's any comments at all that I could have answered. But if anybody's got any questions, please pop them in there and I can pick them up later on today. Have a wonderful, wonderful afternoon, everybody. And I will see you again next week, hopefully in the training starting Monday. Remember to register. Bye for now.